I'm Jason, one of the instructors at Krav Maga Self-Defense. What I wanted to talk today is a phrase of be fearless but not reckless. So when we hear fearless, we tend to think no fear, you're not afraid, you'll take on everything. But that's not, in this context, that's not what fearless would actually mean, right? So as you progress in your training, we put you through all these drills, stress drills, what we call summary drills, scenario drills. It's all in the principle of stress inoculation, getting you used to the stress. And according to your level of training, we increase the stress, or we try to match the appropriate level of stress appropriate to your level or how long you've been with us. This way, that goes with the principle of as you train, you gain this familiarity as safe as possible or as close to the real thing as possible, but under controlled conditions for safety. That you get used to the stress, you get as you get used to the stress, you're familiar with the violence, with what happens around you, and because of that familiarity, you're used to it. You're able to operate, function under that stress, compared to regular persons who have not received that training or exposure. So slowly inoculating you like a vaccine, right? Slowly adding the stress until you get used to it and you're more familiar, and then you can function under a stressful scenario. And that, so with this, you tend to become fearless because not because you lose fear, but you're able to manage the stress and fear through these drills and um, scenario training, through the drills and scenario training. So you're slowly being inoculated with the stress, and um, as your immune builds, your body is able to handle more of the of those um, things you're vaccinating against. Same with what we do here, where you are mentally and physically starting to handle more and more stress and be able to function under those stressful circumstances. So you become fearless in a way that you're managing your fear and you're able to function under the stress and fear. But that doesn't mean that you'll take on everything, meaning being reckless, right? You should, you know how they say in martial arts or whatever systems or fighting, is getting to know yourself. Part of that journey to get to know yourself is you're starting to know your capability. If something happens and there's a certain scenario, it's not self-defense is not exactly the same as combat, right? You hear stories of combat with the soldiers, people who win Victoria Cross. For us, it's Victoria Cross. The US is the Medal of Honor, and they've just really done very brave things and uh, to help their colleagues or in the combat environment. Um, the difference there is it's a combat environment. It's really kind of, I dare say, kill or be killed. We're in the self-defense scenario, although arguably there will be scenarios, the worst scenarios would be kill or be killed, but most of it is not combat, right? So it's the goal is survival, for you to get home, hopefully intact or surviving the encounter and continue to live. So knowing your capability, not biting off more than you can chew, is part of that. not being reckless. So you can be fearless, familiar with handling things, familiar with fighting because you've done you're continuously doing training, you're sparring, you're doing scenario work, whether it's just by yourself or third party as part of the scenario, protecting third party, etc. You're already familiar with the violence and the stress and get this familiarity and know how to handle yourself in these situations. Hence, you start to become fearless, but then also knowing when to engage, when not really a choice, but okay, I don't have a choice but to engage now, or being very tactical and avoiding to get to that stage to get away or de-escalate and avoid that situation. It's not just jumping into the fray all the time because I've trained this, I have these skills. You're still human, you still have limitations, and part of your journey is knowing what you're capable of, what you can take on, what's my capability, right? If you're actually deciding as well, if you're actually deciding, do I take this on or not, then that kind of tells me that's not really a dire situation where you really have to engage because you're still making the choice. You have a choice to be more tactical and to avoid or get away from there or de-escalate or escape and all that. So be fearless in your self-defense. Be fearless in your training, what you get from KMG. Be fearless in your Krav, right? Because you are building yourself up. You um, managing your fear and stress more effectively, and you're functioning more clearly, more effectively under stressful scenarios. That is a big edge, but that doesn't mean you can take on everything, right? You still have to be strategic, still have to be tactical. So be fearless, but not reckless. Reckless is what gets you um, hurt badly, maybe permanently injured, or worse, reckless is what might get you killed, or even worse, your loved ones or persons with you killed as well. So be fearless, continue your training, but don't be reckless. To learn more KMG self defense techniques, train with us at kravmagaselfdefense.com.au.